So whatever the creator wants to happen, there is no fair, just, unjust, whatever, because we are all looking at it from through individual lenses. If the grand plan is that you must suffer so that someone else doesn't have to suffer, then that's the grand plan, and vice versa.
Yeah, but that's not fair, though.
You must have, but it's not about if
fair.
it's fair. It's not
Yeah,
about
it
if it's
is.
fair or not. No.
Yeah,
Because if the grand plan is, for example, to
If it's
blow
not
up.
fair to me, let me tell you something. If you created this system, Raheem, and you ain't made sure it's fair for me and fair for my little cousin and fair for the little boy that lives down the lane, you've now created injustice, which now makes you culpable. You can't be a perfect being.
No.
Okay, I think I understand where you're going with this now. So essentially,
one second, please. Sorry. Who is to say that what is happening to you is unjust if the long-term plan ends up in justice? You understand? So
with who though?
What's happening to you?
Right. Okay. So
on a micro scale may feel or give you the perception that it is unjust or unfair or unwarranted. On the macro scale, is completely warranted. Is completely understood. Because if it shows that you've suffered so that billions upon trillions of people may not, then how is that unjust?
Okay, so now let's just bring it back because it's kind of going way far now. Right. So essentially when we're talking about, because Mr. Trill, he mentioned that God is obligated to reveal the book, right? Whether or not this is correct or not, this is kind of irrelevant, right? But the point is that he believes that God is obligated, right? So if God is obligated,
by his nature.
By his nature, okay. By his nature, okay.
And self-proposed description. Let's make that clear. That's why he's only going to be obligated if he's made statements that he now has to be bound by. Right?
Exactly. Right.
So that's why I say it's got to be of a God of a certain scripture that we're talking about. Because
right. So now you've accepted that God is obligated to send a book to his slaves so that they can follow for guidance, correct?
Never said send a book.
You love to say book.
All right, pick up the show, brothers and sisters.
You have to be very clear because we were talking about book. Or if you recall, we were talking about books. Initially, that's the whole conversation.
Okay, now you've primed yourself, and you're now in a position to receive the information that I was trying to.
We were talking about books initially. If you remember, brother, what's his name? Where is he? Ryan or something? I can't remember.
Whoa! Right.
Okay, so go ahead, Mr. Trill. Go ahead.
Thank you, brother. Now you're in a position to accept what I was trying to show you 30 minutes ago, which is, for me, inscribing this information on the hearts, in the fabric of the being would be far more fitting, and less open to interpretation, misinterpretation, interference and contamination and whatever else that these books and oral traditions are. Writing it on the heart. So it would be a memory. It would be something that you already understand from your.
We've already answered that way back when we started.
No, but you keep saying book. So
because brother Ryan, he brought up books. That's why. and then that's why we're bringing up books.
And
calm down, my G.
Relax, bro. You've been just come on, man. Because the point I'm making is not complicated. And I did make it a long time ago. I need you to hear me. Hear me out for its entirety so you understand what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead, Mr.
What I'm saying is if the creator wanted to impart a message for his creation, I think a more purer way to do it would be to inscribe that message on the hearts and the minds of your creation. Therefore, I don't have to believe in Prophet Muhammad. I don't have to believe in Jesus Christ or Abraham. I don't have to believe in Pastor Kevin or Imam Ali or Bukhari or anybody, any scholars or anybody that would want to play the middleman for the information the Most High wants me to receive. He would just place it on my heart. Yeah, that is different from a book. That is different from a third party being told to recite something and then already carrying that around and then it getting to me and us having to rely on a chain of narration or what's Sahih or what is the New Testament or what is the Dead Sea Scrolls. It would just be the message, the directive, the purpose would be inscribed on our very beings. This is
excellent. Okay, Mr. Jedi, if you recall, right, in the beginning of our conversation, what was one of the very first things that we mentioned concerning this very phenomenon that you're talking about?
I don't know.
Okay, so we talked about what is known in Arabic called the fitra, correct?
Fitra, yes. And I said
okay. So this argument here is already done. This is finished. What you're explaining is the fitra.
Features. But I said to you, that you are not, the fitra is not Islam. So don't try that.
You're right. You're correct. Fitra is the natural inclination. You're correct. You're correct.
When we talk about instructions, we're talking about Islam from your perspective.
Yes, you're correct. You're correct. Now,
why are you trying to mix that up with the fitra? The fitra is what
I'm not mixing it up because
if Allah gave everyone the fitra, why do some people lead astray?
Right. Okay. So if you recall the original conversation, what we were talking about, the original conversation was about free will. Okay. And then the brother Fred, he asked about. He didn't ask, rather he made a statement. He goes, what you're saying, Brother Features, was resonating, right? And it's just the books, right? So then I started talking in essentially advocating for the books, and then. Brother Jedi, if you recall, you said that we are not obligated to follow these books from the manufacturers, or the manufacturers rather are not obligated to send the books, and we agreed to that, correct? That's this. I just want to make this thing go forward, right?
No, but you keep pushing it back and making wrong analogies.
Are you with me? Are you with me? Right? Right. So now you're saying, Brother Jedi is saying that the creator is obligated to send a book. He said this like 3 times now, correct?
Stop, man. Stop. Brother,
but now you're going back to the fitra. You're going back to
you went back to fitra.
Sorry, I've had to mute you. With all due respect, bro, you keep attributing this talk of books to me, and it's like you're something that I don't know if it's a mispronunciation or you're accidentally saying this, but you keep bringing it back to me claiming some need for a book. It's no one said any books. Like you brought up the fitra. And you brought the fitra because you're just confusing yourself now, brother. Like with all due respect, nobody said that the creator is obligated to make books. I said the creator is obligated, and by the creator I mean the Quranic God is obligated, to disseminate his plan, his purpose to his creations, so that they can make the right choices that's going to lead to them going to Jannah.
And be judged upon.
Without giving the information that they need to reach Jannah, they are being treated unfairly by their creator.
Does that not then indicate is that principally linked into the idea that everything has free will? So
So Mr. Jedi, right? The whole point was that the Quranic, according to you, the Quranic God is obligated to send a book. Okay,
not a book. No, bro. Let me try to explain it. Hold on, brother. Wait.
Saying book. No.
Oh my God,
brother.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Jedi.
I'm saying book. I've never.
Okay, just put it in a sentence exactly what you're saying.
Oh my God.
No.
Different sentences already, man.
Oh wait,
you're just not listening.
Warning features. Just say warning features. Just understand that, yeah. Or information, right? Information. They need information that lets them know their purpose.
Okay. Information. Let's say warning.
Argument is that
You're-
information.
Okay.
should
We can
not be-
agree. We can agree.
The format of that information should not be something as corruptible as a book or a word of mouth message that relies on the narrations and perfect recollection and humans that don't lie and all this other stuff. Yeah?
Right. So the whole point, so we can take this conversation further, is that you believe that God is obligated to send some information, some details, some explanation of what is needed from his creation in order to live their lives, correct?
Yes. The God of the Bible and the God of the Quran are obligated to do so.
That was what I was getting at. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we understand that, according to Brother Jedi, that this is an obligation.
Of course, by
Right?
being
This is an obligation. What is the obligation? Okay. Allow me to finish. What is the obligation for the slave now? Once this information has been revealed to the slave, what is the obligation on the person receiving this information?
There is none.
There's no obligation?
No.
Wait, hold on.
Remember, the Quran said. The Quran said. Hold on.
Oh, there's almost like authority in
relax, my G.
I'm just trying to get this. That's all I'm trying to do. It's not trickery or anything like that. Okay, go, Mr. Jedi.
Calm down.
Someone pull up the surah that says that religion is not compulsion, please.
Yeah,
I can tell you the ayah. It's La ikraha fi din, la ikraha fi din, qad tabayyana rushd min al-ghayy. That's in Surah Al-Baqarah.
No, us the slave of Allah, us the creation of Allah, are not obligated to follow, listen, or adhere to him. According to the
La
Quran.
ikraha fi din.
According to the Quran,
I gave you the ayah. It's in Surah Al-Baqarah. There's no compulsion in religion.
Too much noise. Yes. According to the Quran, we're not obligated. Yes. Compulsion and obligation, same thing.
Plus.
I'm not catching you. I'm not catching you.
Bruv, the word
according to your
obligate means to compel, bruv. That's it. The word obligate. It means to
require. Okay. All right. We're talking about compelling now. This is a different thing.
No, but the word obligate. Listen. Wait 1 second. The word obligate.
There's a compulsion. That's a different thing.
Brother, listen. The word obligate.
Obligation.
Wait. Listen. The definition is to require or compel. So please, bruv, this isn't difficult.
My friend, what's her name? Isa, I think. My friend Isa, right?
Yes.
Is there a difference between an obligation to do something and compelling somebody to do something? Is there a difference?
Is there a difference?
There is. Yes,
there is.
There's a difference, okay? Yes. So compulsion is what? Yeah. For example, if you go to court, and your baby mama takes you to court, your court can compel you to pay your baby mama money, correct?
You got it wrong. That one says
I'm just trying to move.
No, I know. But I'm explaining what you got wrong. So when somebody's compelled to do something, they're then obligated. Do you understand? Right?
Is every obligation something to be compelled?
Yes.
No, it's not.
How so?
No, it's not.
Give a scenario where
obligated. For example, your obligation is to, for example, take care of your own children, correct?
Yeah.
That's an obligation.
Yes.
Do you agree that not all men fulfill this obligation?
Correct. But you're still compelled. Meaning the word compel here, brother.
By who? Compelled by who?
Exactly. Hold on. The compulsion and obligation means there are consequences. In both instances,
no, it does not.
Brother, let me finish. In both instances,
let finish.
If you don't do the thing, so for instance, you could say you're obligated to turn up at court, but you don't turn up. And guess what? Knock, or boot down your door, and you're in handcuffs. You're right.
At that point, that is compulsion. Somebody is forcing you.
No,
that's the difference.
That's not right.
That's the difference.
Both cases,
compulsion is by force.
Listen, brother, listen.
Compulsion
In both
is not
cases,
by force.
there is a threat that is compelling you or obligating you, brother. In both cases. So, for instance, somebody could say, "I am compelled to go to court, otherwise they're going to boot down my door," or you could say, "I'm obligated to go to court." Do you understand?
That's compulsory. Yes, that's compulsion.
No,
yes.
I'm saying and obligated, brother. Listen to what I'm saying. In
and
both
Allah,
cases,
and Allah is saying in the Quran, "La ikraha fid din." There is no compulsion in the religion.
No, hold on.
There's
But
no
that's the point you're missing.
Obligation is different. If you want to get to paradise, if you want your sins to be forgiven, then you are obligated to do certain things. Correct? Yes or no?
But that's the if.
That wasn't what Jedi said.
Hold on.
Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's forcing you to pray. Nobody's forcing you to pray. Nobody's forcing you to make Hajj. But however, if you are somebody who believes that God is obligated to send you a book,
that's not the reality.
Information, details, whatever. Okay, not book, information. And what in return is the slave's obligation to their Lord? That's what the question is. Now we're getting into semantics between obligation and compulsion.
That wasn't the question, bro.
I want to take this further. That's it. Only that. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Jedi.
Yeah. So I'm saying, when it comes to religion, you're saying that there's no compulsion to take on other religions, meaning that you are not forced to be a Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay. But in the same breath, if you're not forced to be a Muslim, that means that you're not obligated to be a Muslim. Would you agree?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when we deal with the obligation now of a slave is not obligated to do anything.
If you believe, I'm not talking about anybody else. You yourself, okay?
You're putting the onus of belief down.
You said, okay, right? You said that God is obligated to send some information, some details, some sort of thing, right? Yes, okay. In return for God sending this thing,
slow down.
Okay.
Otherwise, God would be unfair and unjust.
Okay, fine. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Creation a chance to follow the blueprint to salvation.
Right. I got all of that. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
Now we're dealing with the slave all of a sudden having an obligation. And I'm saying the slave has no obligation, right?
Right. Okay.
The slave is not forced or has no need to do anything. Now, if the slave wants a certain outcome from his master, then it would be obligated to follow the outlined steps.
Right. Okay. So now you were saying,
but this is based on the intention of the slave, and if the slave wants to be part of what the master has set. But the
so which type of slave are you?